Hello, everyone. We're going to talk about Spanish sage today. So, does anyone have any experience with Spanish sage so far? Anything you want to share?
Well, I haven't had any like big significant things, but as soon as you sent out the PubMed stuff
Yeah.
on Spanish Sage, I was so excited. I actually have a Foot Zone client. Well, I don't know how to say it. Anyway, she has Alzheimer. It's Alzheimer's, like full blown. And
Mm-hmm.
I've been working with her for about 3 years.
Yep.
But her husband is the one that invites me to come do this. And so I took it with me today so
Yes.
that I can use it with her. So,
Yes. I love it. We I met a lady that is helping a whole community of people with Alzheimer's, dementia, and stuff. And so
yeah.
I came up to her and I asked her if she's interested in learning more about essential oils, to help with the brain and, Alzheimer's and dementia. And she's like, you know what? We've received a few studies and we're really open to that. And I was like, yay, let's get going, let's get started. So it was before Thanksgiving. So, we'll still have to kind of follow up with that. But
Yeah.
I hope she's open.
Exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many studies. Sierra, go ahead.
Okay, I probably can't claim that Spanish sage is what did this for me, but okay, so I know sage is said to clear and clean areas of just clear it of bad energy or bad spirits or anything like that. So I literally started diffusing it in my home, and I would move. I've got one of those diffusers that charges, and I can move it around. And I would move it to each room, and then I would fill it up, and I would do it again, and I'd fill it up, and I would do it again, and I moved it around my whole house.
Juju, go away.
And I'm not kidding you. Just like the same exact week that I did this, which was just that week right after Thanksgiving, both of my kids are talking about in the next 6 months different things that they're going to do for their job and moving out and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, mental clarity.
Yes. So I don't know if I could claim that Spanish sage helped me do that, but it just seems very coincidental that both of them at the exact same time were like, okay, well, after this happens, then I'm going to, go up to the recruiter's office. And that was my 21-year-old son. He's going to go to the recruiter's office and apply for going in the military, and he feels ready now. And then Ashlyn was talking about moving out to Utah and transferring her job. And so anyway, so exciting changes, hopefully.
Good job. That's it. That's what we do. We kind of experiment and do whatever to see what happens. So fantastic. Yeah, I have this information in my book. But we will have this recorded on YouTube so you guys can watch it again and share it with friends. All right, so the Spanish sage, another name for it is sage lavender. Okay, it's actually a smaller plant than the clary sage. It's an evergreen shrub, and it's grown mainly in the Mediterranean areas, mainly Spain and France. Okay, it's been used for centuries. And this is interesting. Most of the time, I read this website, most of the time where you find this Spanish sage or sage lavender, you'll find rosemary growing next to it. So they're kind of like buddies, and they smell like each other too. I had my husband smell both of them and he couldn't tell the difference. Yeah, so it's interesting, but we don't want to confuse it with clary sage. Okay, so it has actually different chemicals. So the main chemical constituent in clary sage is linalool acetate and linalool. Okay, linalool. And the Spanish sage has camphor and 1,8-cineol. Isn't that interesting? The other oil that has camphor, okay, is your blue tansy. Okay, so just a few other oils that we have in doTERRA that has camphor. But that's awesome, isn't it? It has sage in it, but then there are different chemicals. And I love that about doTERRA because they will have the oils that are beneficial to us, therapeutic, available. It's just not, hey, this one smells good and we'll just sell it, right? So they have a rhyme and a reason for why they do what they do. This one, you can actually use it internally, topically, and aromatically. So I put it in my water and started sipping it as I was, learning about clary sage, Spanish sage, forgive me. Yeah, and it tastes really good actually. So yeah, helps you go to the bathroom, so that's good. It offers antioxidant benefits that may help with stress-induced brain injury. Okay, so I read a study on that. So this is very high quality antioxidants, but it's somehow it travels up into the brain. So you know how some oils and plants, they have their preference pathways, they kind of like do this and some like to do that. Well, the Spanish sage likes to go to the head. So the other things, like aniseed or whatever, they like to go to the belly or whatever, but this likes to go and help with the head. And I guess that's why they call it the sage. Okay, so Spanish sage has a lot of antimicrobial benefits, and so this is just a few of the studies that I found. But look here, it is salvia is sage, right? Sage, lavender, right? But Spanish sage also, it helps with memory. So they did this study, and all the people that were in the study, their memory or the recall of words improved, and they just took a young group. So over here, Alzheimer's, okay, and over here that we have oils that help with cellular balancing. Okay, so guys, I have a whole list of studies that if you want to, you can ask me and I can text it to you, all right? But it's really interesting and it's good to kind of keep in mind, okay? We're not curing, okay? We're just saying, here's an oil that supports the body, and somehow the body is able to, heal this itself in this area, okay? So here are the list of physical uses that, I discovered. So of course, memory and mental functions. Who doesn't need that? All of us. So you want to, just apply it to your head, to the crown of your head, back of your neck, on your ears. You want to smell it, okay? And you might want to take it internally too. So it kind of cleanses you and helps you have more mental clarity. So fantastic there. Anything brain and cognitive. So for people who have learning challenges, memory challenges, recall, okay? Even in their older ages, just because you're older doesn't mean you lose your memory, okay? So yeah, it's fantastic for all of that. So I think if you want to make an association with what is, because each oil does so many things, right? If you want to make an association with the Spanish sage, just associate it with all things cognitive, yeah? So number 3, it's a wonderful surface cleaner. When I say surface cleaner, that means, you're going to clean the surface of your skin as well, okay? It's not just the tables and chairs and things, it's a great cleaner, okay? And then it cleanses us on the inside. That's the other power that it has. And it's powerful as a respiratory support. So if you just put a couple of drops in your palms, if you don't have Spanish sage, you can, smell the rosemary. It, gives you that opening your airway power, okay? So yeah, use that for that too. But when you open your airways, what happens is molecules go up into your brain, okay, and it triggers a lot of happy chemicals. It helps calm you down. And when your brain is calm and it starts to detox, the rest of your body receives that instruction as well, okay? So it goes right to the command center. So it relaxes muscles. The camphor is fantastic for that. So you want to use it for deep tissue massage. Yeah. So wherever you're hurting, dig in deep with the Spanish sage. Alertness, focus, and learning. So diffuse, I would diffuse with the frankincense and perhaps rosemary as well, okay, to help the kids do homework or learning or prepare for exams. Okay, those are fantastic oils to blend with this. It helps with the nervous system. So what that means is you can apply it up and down your spine, okay, the base of your neck, up and down the spine. Okay. Fatigue and exhaustion. Okay, take it as a tea, smell it, rub it on your belly, helps with that. Stress relieving. Oh, Emma, did you just get it? Is that just in your package just now?
Delivered it straight to me. No, it's rosemary.
That's good. It's
I have some rosemary, so I went and got that.
yeah. Stress relieving. Okay. It's calming anxiousness. Right. So I've met a few people recently, like they really claim and identify with anxiety. And I'm going to, invite you all to not do that. If you experience some sort of anxiousness, right, tell yourself that you can have the skills to get out of it. There are things that you can do and make associations with that. So if you, have an affiliation with, say, Spanish sage, you like it, you smell it, and your body calms down, then you say note to self, whenever I feel anxious, I'm going to go to this oil, smell it, and I'm going to repeat these mantras. Okay, so just kind of give yourself these skills so that you don't say, me and my anxiety, I don't like this and I don't do that. That's kind of limiting, right? Head tension. Okay, apply it to the temples, across your forehead. Okay, fantastic for that. Rosemary, I tell people, to do the same. When you're wearing too many hats and you're stressed, okay, it helps with that same thing. Skin support, okay, it's very good for cleansing the skin, right? And hormone balancing, right? Hair growth support. There's actually studies for that. So yeah, I have a list of oils that you can use and blend together for hair growth there. Insect repellent, right? So, as you spray or diffuse it in your home, it can help with that too. Gut support, drinking it, and then gum and teeth. So if you're into oil pulling, that's another option that you can do. Okay, besides clove, which is my number one favorite, and then On Guard, you can do Spanish sage. So what do you guys think? Huh? Such an awesome oil. I'm so glad they brought it to us.
I definitely noticed it was very relieving just when I smelled. I have used rosemary before to like calm my anxiousness. But then holding on to that memory, reminding yourself what worked for you before is definitely key.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is rosemary. I don't have Spanish sage, but just the rosemary.
Yeah, it's the next best thing. It's
yes.
Anchor those two, and remember, this is the skill you have to take care of it. Because feelings are not bad. They can't control you unless you let it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So here it is. Let's talk about the emotional side. It's the activating inner wisdom oil. Activating the inner wisdom. So what that means is you already have that inner wisdom. You need to just awaken it. Okay. Activate it. Okay. So Spanish sage invites you to calmly develop your intellectual powers to become a wiser being. Okay, so activate it. Historically, sage has symbolically been associated with wisdom, intelligence, spiritual insights, and virtue. Okay. Spanish sage helps with many areas of the body, and especially all things cognitive. So anchor that, make that connection. Support your brain functions and memory recall with Spanish sage. Ask yourself these introspective questions. And this is how you activate it, because when you ask yourself questions, yourself will have answers. Okay. Okay. Is your mind currently operating on positive or negative energy? So you can ask yourself, is my brain thinking positive things or negative things? And there's sometimes when I talk to people, they think that they're positive, but they're not. And it's just that they're so used to being negative that they're a little bit better than they used to be, and they think that they're positive when they still suffer all of these ailments. You know, and this kind of helps you kind of be honest with yourself and really get that answer. You know, are you often entertaining worry, doubt, and stress? Okay, so these are the negative mental patterns often cause those feelings of overwhelmed, anxiousness, and confusion, and being out of control. Okay, so these negative feelings reduce your brain functions and memory recall. So sometimes people say, well, I just don't remember stuff, I can't remember names or whatever. Well, maybe because we carry around all this worry, doubt, and stress. Does that make sense? So if you're gonna be calm.
Yeah, it does, Jade. Actually, I was just thinking all those things, doubt, worry, stress, overwhelm, anxious, confusion, being out of control, limit you in actually in action. So
Yeah.
when we want the wisdom, that inner wisdom is knowing how to act, or acting on, or the understanding of how to implement something or act on something. So yeah, it really makes it's quite freeing, really, to be able to then move forward, because you're going to have that wisdom to act in the right way, I guess. But yeah, it just made me think of that.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. Yeah, we don't realize that, we need to let go of this thing here for us to function over here. I have a friend that's like, I need to just get off this stuff, but then she won't change the way she's thinking. And I'm like, girlfriends don't work. You need to really change on the inside. Okay. So alternatively, are you excitedly engaged in creating, solving, hoping, and deeply connecting and being loving? So if that's your mode, your positive mental pattern, okay, it will result in wisdom, intelligence, virtue, collaboration, and positive solutions. So it's a little bit of a wake-up call too. If we're not getting these positive solutions, then maybe we're not really as engaged in creating and solving problems and connecting and loving as much as we should be. Okay, so it just kind of gives you a little bit of a nudge there. You can patiently master your mind by being intentionally wiser and more powerful. And this is the oil that helps to do that. It calms your brain. Because a lot of times people have like inflammation and stuff in their brain and toxins and debris. So this kind of calms everything down and helps you patiently, master the mind. Okay, so with this mindset, your brain can physically relax and clean out toxins and debris, allowing more optimal brain functions and memory recall. Our brain, when we sleep, it actually flushes with a liquid, and then in the morning, it drains. And so if you are allowing yourself to do this, within a short time, your brain is able to function much better. So, I mean, these studies, this is crazy studies that like nearly everyone improved. So, you can do that experiment on yourself, okay? So you can apply a little bit of Spanish sage on your head before you go to bed. Take a little bit internally, and see how you go. Right, instead of like jumping in and reacting to things, now you can take it a little bit easier and make wiser decisions. Spanish sage. Use Spanish sage to help you recall and organize your thoughts and memories with more wisdom. There are many times we have prematurely misinterpret our painful experiences as bad and wish for it to be deleted from memory. That's what these memory diseases are. People want to delete, okay? And then their energy actually goes to work and obeys it. Okay, so identify what things you no longer want to know about and understand why you feel that way. So just kind of ask yourself some questions. Why was that so bad? Okay. Are there people in the past, including the younger version of you, that you need to forgive? Because what if we don't need to kind of erase? What if we just need to go back and forgive? Okay. Spanish sage invites you to calmly review your past experiences from a wiser perspective. Perhaps you may find there are some hidden blessings and divine lessons of love you may have missed. If you erase the whole experience, you will erase all the good along with the bad. Okay.
This
Yeah.
is an interesting perspective, Jade, because I like how you thought if you try to eliminate the whole past and try to forget about it,
Yeah.
you're actually because we all learn from all the experiences we have, whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
So, otherwise you're taking that away from yourself, that empowerment of you've learned something about yourself, or you've learned something about someone else, but because of that experience. So, or it's helped you to understand yourself or understand someone else, why they did or didn't do something, or whatever it might be. So it's a learning experience. So it's not bad in that sense. So this is quite an interesting way of looking at it,
Yeah.
in the fact that, we don't have to erase it. We can still have the memory, even if it's bad.
Yeah.
But, you know how to work through it, or know where to put it in its place, so to speak, I suppose. And because you don't want to get rid of the good along with the bad. So, yeah, I like that thought.
Yeah, because it is a premature misinterpretation, isn't it? So painful. Yeah. So sometimes I do sessions with people and they're like, seriously, I don't remember anything from my childhood. And, as we heal, as their body heals, their body says, actually, it's still here, and then they start to remember. And when they do remember and they retell it, we actually see it from a different point of view. And we're like, hang on, that was actually a good thing. And hang on, I stood my ground there. And hang on, I was pretty good. And then you're like, wait, all these lessons are just left on the table, right? And now I can come back and claim them. Yeah. So that's the activated wisdom.
That's right. And you actually can't, when you stop and think about it, you can't actually really erase it from your memory. You can block it, you can suppress it, you can do whatever you like with it, but it's going to be always there, so to speak, in the filing cabinet at the back even, so it's, you're sort of fooling yourself, or you can become disillusioned with trying to, or your wasted energy trying to remove it, or, get rid of it, sort of thing, or delete it from our memory. So, it's an interesting thought.
Yeah, but these diseases, actually, the cells die, so eventually if you block it out long enough and, there's no activity there, you actually let it atrophy and die. So, yeah. But we're, keeping it healthy, keeping the brain healthy and helping ourselves as we go along, right? So that we don't get to that stage.
So are you saying that you can delete the memory because of the cell, the activation of causing it to atrophy? Is that what you're saying?
Debbie?
Yeah, I was going to say, can I speak to that a little bit? I had an experience yesterday. I was actually doing some energy balancing for myself, and my mom called at the time. I was like in the middle of one of the oils that I was going through. And I told her about it because it was generational on her side. And I don't know that I need to go into all the details. However, what we did was, because I pulled her into the healing that I was doing, because it had everything to do with her memories and her side of the family. And what we did is we rewrote the story. So we did some child regression, also generational work, but we rewrote the story the way she would have preferred it, because it had to do with her father. And she's since forgiven him, but I find that she struggles to be emotional, and she struggles with her health in so many ways. And she's like the best eater. She takes all her supplements. She does all of these things. And I'm like, what is it? It is the spiritual, emotional level, that the pain that she has suppressed, and she's forgiven, but she hasn't dealt with the energy of what has happened. And she, doing that child regression, we were like, I was bawling my eyes out. And because I bawled, it gave her permission. Like she started, like we're on the phone, but it was so powerful. I had no idea that she experienced some of these traumas, but going back and being able to rewrite the story and her to stand up and say what she needed to say at that time for herself was so powerful. So powerful. So I don't know that we delete it, but we get to reframe it. We get to retell it the way that probably it should have or could have been, and then give ourselves what we were missing at the time.
Yeah.
What we hope for. And that forgiveness is, our parents or whoever, they're just living out patterns that they absorbed and were given to them. And what a privilege it is that we get to go back and help heal that for all of us.
So is it more a cleansing and a clarification of that time and how we perceive it, to know then how to move through it, sort of thing? So we don't have to delete it, so to speak. We can actually just make sure we perceive it in the right way, whether it be so it's not negative, it's positive in the sense, because we always attribute it back to ourselves rather than looking a little bit more broader at the whole situation.
There's a lesson there, right?
Yeah.
There's a lesson there, and there's something that we gain from it, even as hard, as difficult, even as wrong as a lot of it was. We gain something from that experience. And so if we can focus on that part, and we actually retold the story, her experience, she actually retold it in the way that she wanted it to be, after she stood up and took care of herself and was like, no, that's not right. This is not what, a father does, blah, 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 all of that. And then she gave herself the things that she wanted in that moment. And it was
so when you gain that insight and that understanding then of how you, and acknowledge how you felt at that time and whatnot, well, then you can, like you say, rewrite it or look at it from a different perspective.
Absolutely beautiful.
Interesting.
So in my studies of these brain diseases, the cells actually atrophy, and some of the cells die off. That's why people don't remember their kids' names and things, and it's really sad. But that is to the extreme. That is just way over here, like way too late, that they may have suppressed a lot of these negative things for a long time. It's sort of like you haven't used your legs or something for a long time, then it atrophies. So I think of it that way. But for most of us, we can go back and say, hang on, there's a silver lining in this cloud still. Let me find it. God allowed this to happen to me for a reason. And I see that it happened for me. Okay, here's a good lesson. I'll hold on to it. Not holding on to the pain, but having peace, making peace with it. So that's the idea. Okay. Yeah. So I've had a person come up to me. I only gave him balance oil, but he came up to me 3 months later at another event, and he says, you helped me get my memory back, my short-term memory back, because he can't place things, he can't categorize and connect his thoughts. So he's on, these medications and stuff, but just desiring to kind of be smarter did the trick for him. So, for me, that's a testimony that, this is amazing. So do you believe that you have divine intelligence? That's another good introspective question. A lot of people don't believe that they're smart. They're just born that way, and they're just, not as good or something. As a beloved child of God, you have got God-given intelligence inside of you. Choose to activate that power to be wise, intelligent, and knowledgeable. Okay, people who think or believe they're not smart subconsciously create disorganization of thoughts and poor memory recall. When you already say, I'm no good at names, or I don't remember stuff, then your brain hasn't exercised, this ability to put things into files and categorize and connect. Okay, so they don't allow their minds to confidently function and make connections well. thus unintentionally instructing their brain to discard information unnecessarily. Okay, oh, my brain's a sieve, you know, it's just how it is. No. A Spanish sage encourages you to make helpful mental connections so you can store and recall words, information, and memories more effectively. Choose to be capable of easily committing new information into memory. Okay, so we need to learn how to learn. You know, my girls, I was just teasing them, but you know, when they hit 9th and 10th grade, then they're like, oh, we have to study. You know, and I'm like, you guys, you know, because whatever they learn, they make this connection. And so when they go to school, you know, they can recall and, you know, do well in exams and all that. And now they're getting, you know, lots and lots of heavy load of information. And so they have to kind of intentionally make, you know, these connections. But in the past, it's like, oh, that reminds me of this, that does that does that. And then they recall very quickly. But yeah, why can't we do that? Learn how to learn. Yeah.
Can I speak to this?
Yeah, go ahead.
I do believe that we have divine intelligence. I grew up with an abusive who he struggled with alcoholism, but he was very strong. And he was very protective over me and my kids. And so growing, or me and his kid, you know, me and my brothers and sisters, growing up, I never felt like my dad ever hurt me. I always felt like he protected me. And so I put a lot of my security in him. I accidentally did some energy balancing. It was not what I intended to do. But I had always kind of struggled with breathing. And then that would send me to some anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And I was a little bit mad at my mom about some things. And, you know, I called to kind of give her, you know, the business. And I had made a comment that, you know, growing up, you know, my dad was just this horrible person, but, you know, he's my dad and I love him and I always saw him for what he was on the inside and not his mistakes. And so I called to tell my mom, you know, my dad saved my life. And she said, well, actually your dad did save your life. And I was like, wait, what are you talking about? And she tells me of this time that, you know, we had a clogged drain in our bathtub. And there was water in it and chemicals from, you know, trying to unclog the drain. And I was helping my dad. He stepped out of the bathroom to go get something and I climbed into the tub. And yes, this tub was filled with drain chemicals and, you know, dirty things. My dad found me face down in the tub and he grabbed me and, you know, made sure everything was okay. They called poison control. I never knew about this, but I felt it. I felt all my life this inability to catch my breath, to breathe. And then all of a sudden the floodgates came open and I turned to my husband and I said, something happened to me where I could have got really hurt, like my life. And I didn't know what it was. I don't remember this. I was very little, but I remember the way it made me feel. You know, I was just very, again, my dad, he was a big, strong man, you know, someone I loved, but I could never really talk to. Having the conversation with my dad was really hard. I know that I've never seen my dad ever struggle to speak in his life. And to have that conversation with me was really hard. And he even told me, I don't know how you remember this. They thought that they couldn't tell me and I would just, you know, forget. But truly feelings buried alive never die. And the way that it made me feel that my life was in, you know, and so all my life I just been in this intense fear that my life was in danger, just scared every day. And then when I had that conversation with my dad, I think I was struggling a little bit, and you know, I kind of viewed it from a more, you know, wise perspective, which was that you know, my life could have very much ended that day, but it didn't. And truly, you know, if God has me here still, then it's for a purpose. But yeah, it was completely unintentional, and I kind of it was all on accident. I did my own like energy balancing, and
Good job.
A huge difference.
Oh, well, I'm so proud of you for figuring that out and feeling your feels, right?
And yeah, I could have been scared. I didn't want to bring it to my dad. I just never had the courage to talk to him. But then, you know, all this doubt and all this fear just kind of went away, and I just I felt courage
Yeah.
to talk about it.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah. So that's the thing that we experience, because when we have more mental clarity, we're like, what am I really scared about? Nothing. Okay, you do this. Yeah. So, you know, knowing that people are intelligent on the inside, we can encourage them, guys, and we can give them confidence, our confidence, and it makes a huge difference, especially with kids. Yeah. So besides improving intellectual abilities by activating that inner wisdom, Spanish Sage helps you dive into deeper and more meaningful conversations with others. Ta-da! Just like what Emma just shared, right? Something that you've never experienced before, but you just feel like you can do this now. You know, Debbie likes to use that acronym, you know, D&M, okay? The deeper, more meaningful conversations. Make heart and mind connections with others, okay? In a substantial way, thus creating stronger relationship with others. What I noticed that there's a lot of people that have shallow relationships and they don't know that that's shallow. That's just how it is. They've always been used to it. They're shallow with their parents, they're shallow with each other. That's life, you know. Take Instagram pics and, you know, just post it and do stuff. And I'm all, nah, pass. You know, I really want to have soul sisters. And, you know, that means we need to open up our hearts to each other, right? So here, this allows you to do so, okay? And it changes your life because you feel so much more powerful. Life is more meaningful and fulfilling, okay? When your brain functions are more optimally, when your brain functions more optimally, it can, through the central nervous system, give more effective instructions to the rest of your body. So what happens when your body, you know, smells something that you don't like, or you know, breathes in a pollen or dust, you know, it kind of goes over, you know, overdrive, right? But what if you had this calming chemical that just constantly keeps you in check? It gives that energy or instruction to the body to say, hey, stay cool, stay chill, right? Don't get, you know, caught up. It can help calm the heart, encourage the digestive system to absorb and release effectively. That means go to the bathroom, right? And relax the tense muscles that do not need to be tensed currently, right? It's just sometimes you walk around tense and you don't know why you're still tense. There's nothing to be tensed about, but that's your normal. Okay, so it kind of helps in that way too. And when everything is relaxed, of course, you'll be able to activate your inner wisdom, right? Thoughts, comments?
Just that I so need this oil so bad, so quickly. And I just like, oh, I just don't want my body to overreact to anything anymore ever. So I just can't wait to get it now.
Yeah. Well, I had a lady, her shoulders, Lisa, were so tense, right? And I was Jamie thinks it's her. I was trying to massage her, and I said to her, "Are you stressed and tense?" She's like, "When am I not? Like, I don't even know how it feels to not." And so I'm like, try to relax. She's like, I don't know how to do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we have to really help you. Yeah, but that's how some people live every day, and it's their normal. So yeah, that's why this will help. Like, get it into the brain, Jamie.
I used to get adjustments from Simone, and then she's like, yeah, so I'm like laying face down and she's like, okay, relax. I'm like, I am. Like, I was literally relaxed.
This is my relax.
She's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's just we don't know how stressed and tense we are, right? And sometimes people say, well, I'm healthy, I eat healthy, I do all these things. I have a friend that, you know, super duper, everything organic, grows it in her own garden and stuff, very, very strict with everything. Her whole body has like this skin issue, right? And she's like, I don't get it. Like, I do everything right. And so it's like a lot of this tenseness and stress. And so, you know, we really need to address it, because, and we don't realize that we're in that state. So here we are, some negative emotions or energy to identify: distressed, discouraged, distracted, hopelessness, helplessness. Can you see how this affects the brain? You know, when then that pain in the past, oh, I can't fix it. It's hopeless. I want to erase it. Feeling very discouraged about this happened and that happened. Forgetfulness, okay. Loss of identity, confusion, brain fog, overwhelmed, unforgiving, pain in all the sense of the word. That person hurt me. That event was painful, whatever. You know, physically, you allow yourself to be in pain. And there are people that are in so much pain that only the area in their body that has the most pain is identified. And when you resolve that, they're like, hang on, over here, this hurts too. And it's like, where did that come from? And, you know, it's always been there, but they didn't recognize it because over here, the pain is too great. And, you know, finally, this pain is gone. And now they are recognizing the pain that's already been here for a while. And then feeling withdrawn. Okay. So, of course, when you have so much pain, you pull away from other humans. Yeah. So that's not.
You know what this reminds me of, Jade? Like when in the limbic system of your brain, where your emotional center is in your brain, and they said when that gets so activated and so reactive and so crazy, you like, particularly with kids on the spectrum or anything like that, or anyone who's got anxiety issues and stuff, they can't learn until they're calm again.
Yeah.
So because the limbic system's going crazy, sort of thing. So this really, to me, sort of, or helping me to see, I think that's an area of the brain where it really would be activated, like really calm down. So so not only learn, but then, you know, as you say, have more clarity to address things and stuff.
Yeah. So you can see why diffusing this as you learn helps you learn better, because you're calm, you're not overwhelmed with all the things I have to study today. And remember, it's just one little thing at a time, and you just you know, taking it easy. And then of course, you know how to link it, and then this links with that. Got it. Next one. Oh, here, let me make a mnemonic device, and you know, it's so much easier than, oh, I have to learn all of this all at once. And then you freeze anyway, so you're not effective. Yeah.
Our pain makes us self-centered.
Yeah.
Hard to think about.
Sorry, Jay, could you flip back to that previous one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true, Emma.
But it have to be that way.
Yeah, that's the withdrawn. You know, you only see yourself and you only see your fears and your pains.
Can I just say something really silly? That picture with the plant there, that reminds me of that, what they call lamb's ear in that plant. I don't know whether it's the same one, but when you touch it and feel it, it's like velvet, like a lamb's ear.
Yeah.
And I just thought, wow, it sort of then just sort of spoke to me, saying, you know, like a little lamb is, you know, is so vulnerable and so humble, and, you know,
I love that.
I just had that, you know, probably because I'm off the farm, I don't know, but, you know, but yeah, I love little lambs. They're my favorite thing. So yeah, and I just thought, I just had this image of, I just want to stroke that leaf.
Yeah, no, it's hairy, furry, not hairy, furry. And it's a little bit smaller than the clary sage. And yeah, you're gonna want to touch it when you see it. But then when you touch it, it activates the.
Sorry, I'm a bit tactile.
You know, it's probably asking you to. You know, it's designed to do that. So I'm very soft and velvety. You want to touch me?
Calming. Like, I find it very calming.
And it calms you down. Yeah. So the thoughts and beliefs that may create those negative emotions, it's too painful. I give up. I'm just not smart enough. You know, like, can't figure this one out. Right? I can't remember anything. Right? And there are things that happen to me that I wish to forget. Yeah. When people say that, you know, they're giving instructions to their brain to erase. Yeah. I don't know how to deal with difficult situations, so I try to ignore it. I've met a lot of people like that too. Yeah. But we are strong enough, we're smart enough, we can face things and learn. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. It's a good one. Yeah, what about when you only remember the bad memories and not the good ones? Yeah, that's why you need to calm down and revisit it. Open that file properly and then find the silver lining, which is there.
I think the issue is because they do that, they don't want to open it.
That's it. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's that. It's too painful. It's too painful. Don't want to go there. Yeah. But we can nudge them along. We've had plenty of people that start that way. And now they're like, oh, I remember stuff. And actually they can talk about their pains. In the past they haven't. So yeah, they just need to remember that they have the intelligence and they have the power. So yeah, we can help them start to peel away one little layer at a time. So the positive energy, virtue, thoughtfulness, wisdom, inner clarity, dignified. Inner clarity, it has so many meanings. It could be like your physical body can sense things better, right? And that's why, hey, why are you tense over here? Right? Hey, the heart can calm down now. That's all the levels of clarity, the inner clarity. Dignified, honor, respect, success, intelligent, relaxed, discerning, hopeful, patient, and forgiving. How do you like that? Yeah. It's such a
I
beautiful.
so love it. Love it, Jade. This is such perfect timing. A friend
Yeah.
of mine or a girlfriend of mine, we were just talking about this yesterday, and yeah, a lot of this stuff. So it's very timely and yeah, very helpful to know where to go next with it. So
Yeah.
it's great. Love it.
It's so good that it's coming at this time too. There's lots of young kids now that are more stressed than ever before, right? And you know, they're born with parents who are stressed, and then it just kind of adds on in the next generation. And like with Michaela, she's serving a mission for our church. You know, she's been out for almost a year, but she's had maybe six of her friends leave and come home prematurely because of anxiety. Yeah, because they're just too stressed. They don't know how to handle things. But can you see how this is helpful for hair loss as well? And people are just stuck in that negativity. They're in their brain so much, you know, the pains and the worries that they're holding on to, right? It just creates a lot of negative energy up there. Yeah. But you know, when we invite them to like adopt these positive energy, it makes more sense why their hair can start growing back again. Because there's positive energy up here. Yeah. So Teresa, do you want to comment there? So I'll read this because when we have the recording. Go ahead.
Jade,
do it.
just took me a while to find my cursor and get it unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, because we when we record, people can't read the comments, or you know, so that's why we want
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Let's do it.
Well, I had a session where I dealt with my relationship with my husband's sister.
Mhm.
I haven't spoken to her or been in the same space she's in for, good grief, more than 10, 12 years
Mhm.
because of something very bad that she did to
Yeah.
me, to us.
Yeah.
And I thought I'd forgiven her. But during the session, I was actually able to really forgive her completely.
Mhm.
And now I can think of her without all those feelings, the resentment, the betrayal, all that. And I'm starting to remember the good times.
Oh, how liberating.
It is liberating. Yes.
So good. So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the test. Think about that person. No yucky feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what we need to do. We're all humans, we all make mistakes. Yeah. That's so good. Thank you so much, Teresa. Beautiful. Okay, so here's some positive enlightened thoughts and beliefs. I can focus and concentrate on the most important things in life. You know, sometimes we're scatterbrained because we're holding on to all of the things. Some of the things are not so good. Some of the things are okay. And some of the things are best. But we just don't learn to discern good, better, best. And so we just take it all on instead of saying, this is good, but no, not the best. And this is also a good thing to do, but not the best. This is the best. I'm just going to focus on what I need. And then clarity. Yeah. I'm always learning new skills to manage challenging situations. Yeah, like anchoring. This oil will anchor when I feel this way. Lots of skills because you can solve problems. You're intelligent enough to solve problems. And often it's the skills that you just learn, you have a challenge that will need it in a very short period of time. Yeah. So I find when I was learning stuff, like if I learn about diabetes or something, within a short time, I meet somebody with diabetes and I'm able to help them. So it's so interesting that God prepares you. I lovingly forgive all the people, including myself. Yeah, including myself. So if you already made that decision, it's easy to just forgive in the moment. You know, I've found that, you know, some people can be rude or whatever. And I'm like, in my heart, I'm like, I've already forgiven. I've already chosen to forgive people before they even do some crazies. So it's so liberating. I can have deep and meaningful conversations. You like that one? Okay. Affirmations. I find new and positive ways to see my life. This is, you know, your brain, being intelligent and wise. I find new and positive ways to see my life. I access my divine intelligence and wisdom each day. I easily love and respect myself and others regardless. Like that. This is your with your Spanish sage. So as you use it, say it and make that connection.
Could you also pop back to the previous one, Jode? Sorry, Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep. All right. So companion oils and products. For brain and memory, combine Spanish sage, frankincense, sandalwood, and rosemary. Okay, apply on the forehead, back of the neck, ears, big toes, diffuse it also, and remember omega oils and supplements. You know, see how I write, remember, I don't say, don't forget. You don't need to, yeah, say that, forget.
Can I speak on something about negativity?
Yeah.
You know that our brains cannot comprehend negativity.
Yeah.
So when we say something like, don't forget that,
Yeah.
all our brain hears is forget that.
Mhm.
And that's why it is so important to kind of rewrite positive beliefs.
Yeah.
Because it literally cannot decipher negative from positive. It just hears do this.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing thing. Yeah.
Yep, it's so good. I love it. Okay, detox the brain. Guys, there's so many things that, you know, cause toxins in our brain, okay? So you can add a Spanish sage with cilantro and clove and put it on the bottom of your big toes. Okay, do that several times a day for several months, okay? And see if, you know, you have more mental clarity, and especially children who are on the spectrum, that will help them too. People with like toe fungus and stuff, you know, once it starts to cleanse, that means the fungus in the brain is removed as well. Okay, so yeah, people have mental clarity, they tell me. So good. All right, so for hair growth, you can combine Spanish sage, rosemary, ylang-ylang, lavender into your hair serum or shampoo. Yep. Good. I'm going to move to the next slide now. All right, I have 2 questions today. how are you going to incorporate Spanish Sage into your daily life? Anyone want to share?
Well, when I get it, I'm definitely going to diffuse it, and I'm definitely going to wear it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to use it in obviously lots of different ways. You know, even try it in a cup of tea. That
Yeah.
sounds interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Good. Sierra?
Well, I've already started diffusing it everywhere throughout my house, but I really like the brain detox one that you had, putting it on the big toe. I like that idea. So I might make a roller bottle with that combination and
Yeah.
use that.
Yeah. Sometimes we have a block and we think, if I just work hard, I'll push through. But what if there's a physical block as well that you can't resolve? So yeah, try that.
Could you go back to the previous page? I just
Yeah.
wanted to write down the last thing.
Yep.
Thank you.
So this here,
Okay, for the hair growth one.
the hair growth.
I
Yeah.
was interested in that one.
Mhm.
There's a little bit of hair loss, so.
Yeah. But does it make sense now when we're holding on to those negative, worrying, stressful emotions? Our hair doesn't grow because it's negative up here, negative energy. Yeah.
It reminds me of, you know, you pulling your hair out. You know how people pull their hair out because they've got too much going on and crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So,
there's
you know,
a reason
whether it
for
falls
that.
out or yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
True. True.
interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Second question. What are your thoughts and feelings about activating inner wisdom?
I'm actually really excited to try this. I've diffused it a couple times, like just for kicks and giggles. But like for me, if I'm going to do a childhood regression, my go-to has been Clary Sage, and it really just like will bring things to my remembrance. And so this, like you said, on a more cognitive level, like just with assisting with, like, if I feel like I need help remembering something, I'm really excited to try this for that also.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ashley. Sierra?
I have to unmute myself, sorry. I think that activating your inner spirit, that's almost like connecting with the spirit, you know, with the Holy Spirit. And to me, I think I want to utilize any opportunity that I can be more connected with Heavenly Father. And so just that is just a really beautiful thought to activate that ability to communicate with and hear promptings from the Holy Spirit more often, more with ease, and to be able to listen and then act on those promptings.
Yeah, I love it. Who has intuitively picked an oil or did something, and then somebody muscle test that same oil for you, or if you do a bioscan, that oil comes up anyways, but you've already started
Several
using it.
times.
Yeah, and then you're like,
Yeah, several times.
oh, I know stuff, you know, like, oh, I already know stuff, but it's like, wow, I'm so surprised. But we don't have to be so surprised that we're intelligent beings, right? So we need to kind of adopt that. Actually, I can do stuff, and I know things, and it just comes to me, and I'm allowed to trust myself, you know?
Trust is a big one. That's kind of my thoughts on it is doubt can be so strong. Fear-based emotion for me, doubt that I'm worth it, doubt that I'm smart enough. And you know, sometimes I feel like no matter how much someone tells you that you're smart enough, or you know, you have that friend who, you know, they're so beautiful, you don't see them as anything less than just a beautiful friend, and they just cannot see that in themselves. And I feel that no matter how much you try to tell that person, because the doubt is so strong at their core, and this is where energy balancing comes from. They truly need to go and identify, you know, who put that doubt in their head, especially women. I just feel we are so intuitive, but we kind of want to, you know, we're emotional, so we kind of like deny our feelings. So don't get, don't get too excited.
Mhm.
But we are, I just think we are great human beings. I think we are divine children of God, and we do, and it's hard when you're trusting in your family and you're trusting in God, but you can't trust in yourself. Truly identifying where did that doubt start, and removing it so that you can truly live a holier, healthier life.
Mhm.
And so it's I think I didn't like the phrase well, like positive, it doesn't help just to be positive, it doesn't help just to be positive. Well, positivity and gratitude are everything, until you remove that doubt, until you've taken that out. No matter how hard you try to jam all that positivity down, it's not going to stick. There's a block. And when I, experiencing it myself, that doubt, oh, thank you. And then when that doubt was removed, and then it's just like, now I want to go out and I want to share with the world, who is Emma, who is she really? Jade always saw something in me that I did not see myself. I didn't have a single person telling me the kind of things that, and I told her that, Jade, you talk about me in a way that I just don't feel that about myself. But she could have given up on me, and she could have done that, but she didn't, because she truly saw me for who I was. And thank you for that, Jade. And I really believe that we need to be doing this for other women, because when they're filled with those doubts, and it's just and it's just so hard. But absolutely, yeah, she is. But it's just, to me, it was just provoking how much the doubt had a hold on me.
For sure, and you can see the divine in people, and that's how you can be confident in others, right?
Right.
I remember that when I first started learning English, I was like, oh, I'm not, smart. I can't do English. And then when I went to college, there was an advanced English class that I had to take. And I thought, oh dear, how am I going to do this? But the voice in my mind says, you're a child of God. You are intelligent. So I took it anyways. And I ended up being one of 2 people that got an A in that class. And I thought, oh gosh, here it is. I've activated this inner wisdom. So I'm like, if I can do this, everyone can awaken. It's already in there. Just turn on the switch, right? Push the button. So yeah, it's exciting. And I love to see that people awaken to that energy.
And now my anxiety is, now my anxiousness is like, because I want to get out there and I want to share.
Excitement. Yeah.
Instead of this anxiousness, like this fear anxiety. And
yeah.
so
Yeah. No more withdrawn, just kind of going out there. Brilliant. I love it. Yeah, thank you so much, Emma. That's so sweet of you.
thank
So
you for
guys, we're going to end here and turn off the recording, and we can have a chit chat.